Questions about food are very confusing, and people don't know what to trust because there's so much bad information out there, and there's a lot of good information out there too, and that's where it took me forever to figure this out. People don't know what to trust.
There are techniques that actually some teachers and some university professors are teaching to enable you to evaluate a source of information that you might encounter.
Moms need to stop reading mommy blogs, except for ours.
How do you evaluate a site that you go to? Is this a reliable site? Is what is being reported at that site something that is going to actually help you make a better decision about some aspect of your life? And we all need better skills. We all need better fact-checking skills.
And to me, trusted sources are groups of experts who have assembled the information for you, because I can't be an expert in everything. You can't be an expert in everything. So I want to go to the American Academy of Pediatrics, and I want to go to the CDC, and I want to go to the NIH and the EPA websites and get the good information.
We have to trust our regulatory infrastructure here in the industrialized world, that the chemistries used on plants are safe, the genetics are safe, are understood better than any other plants on the planet.
I think there are a handful of really good resources out there. Science-based medicine, I think, is great. I write articles for them periodically, probably not as much as I should, but I'm lazy. But we've covered some dental topics, and it will continue to do so. The American Dental Association has a great website. They have a separate arm called the Center for Evidence-Based Dentistry, and they teach workshops on it, and they actually have a separate website. I think it's EBD for Evidence-Based Dentistry, so ebd.ada.org.
When we turn our back on good, safe technologies, that it does have a chilling effect all over the globe. That if we're not going to trust it here in the industrialized world, why should anyone else?
Really consider that maybe the things that you were raised with, the things that you thought were factual, the things that you've always been told are real, you know, they might not be. So have a critical eye, have a critical thought about that, and be open, because you need to be open to new ideas, but not, you know, too open. How do they say it? So your brains fall out is what they say. But it is a cliche, but it is actual. Challenge yourself, challenge your beliefs. Look at the best criticism possible of the belief you have. Whatever it is that you strongly, firmly believe in, look at the alternative. Even if it's something you firmly believe in that you know is real, like let's say evolution, I think you should look at the arguments made by creationists.
If you come across an idea and you're a little suspicious about it, or maybe even if it reinforces your beliefs, that's even a better reason to check on it. If you come across an idea and you want to cross-check it, don't just check it with one source. That source may be, you know, don't even check it with two sources, because they both may come from the same erroneous place. You really need to be very careful about whether you trust the sources for the information you get. Cross-check, double-check.
Taking time to make the decision is often key. Not rushing into any decision. And if you find yourself in a conversation where someone is telling you that you need to act urgently, that it's now or never, that if you don't make this decision, you might regret it for the rest of your life, go now. That's usually a pretty good indicator that you should take a step back, get a second opinion, and think twice about following that person's advice.
Does it use a lot of capital letters? Does it have a conspiratorial ideation of some sort? Are they always talking about people trying to fool you, whether those people are the government or businesses or politicians or whatever? There are a number of ways that you can, there are a number of good habits that you can develop, and we all need practice at them.
I advise people to look for evidence that's simple, that makes the fewest assumptions. It's a principle called Occam's razor. Instead of making far out outlandish suppositions and things that are not supported by the evidence, look at where the evidence itself, follow the evidence and see where that leads, making the fewest assumptions possible. And that will lead you to, let's call it the preferred hypothesis. And someone cannot like your hypothesis, But to remove it from its preferred position, he has to find it's absolutely fatally flawed, that is, could not possibly be true, or he has to find a better one. And it must be even simpler in its making of fewer assumptions. And if you do that, if you look at evidence, competing hypotheses, and look for the one that makes the fewest far-fetched, spacious arguments like most conspiracy theories, and pick the one that's, well, tried and true, you'll not be far off.
Always have kindness to people who believe in things that you would say, you know, are odd. We're all on a journey. We've all been there, and I think that some people haven't quite gotten there with their critical thinking. People who feel like they've been abducted by aliens or something like that, remember that they're human, and to them that's a real, they really think they're being abducted by aliens. Have some compassion and approach it in that way, and remember that we're all here on this earth together. Let's get along.